But you can see that there's other tricks. I know. I'm just going to ask everybody to kind of keep their voices down. If you can sort of move slowly. These are new lions here. They're just getting used to this glass. They came from a zoo where they didn't have this. So she's going to come toward us, so just very calm. If she feels comfortable, she'll come
5,000 pounds. And looking on the passenger side, you're going to see a lot of rhinos out there. And these rhinos are really important because they are the hope for the northern white rhino species. There's only 2 northern white rhinos left on the planet, a mother and a daughter, and they're too old to reproduce. So we're hoping in about 10 to 15 years to artificially inseminate our southern white rhinos here with northern white rhino DNA, and they will become the surrogate parents for the northern white rhino species. We do have some really special rhinos. We have 2 rhinos out here, Edward and Future. Edward and Future are going to be about 2 to 3 years old. And those rhinos are the very first artificially inseminated southern white rhinos in the world. The animals to be able to hide from predators who have amazing vision and can see for miles on the African savanna. But also, they use their coloration because the African savanna is a climate of extremes. It can be over 120 degrees there in the summertime and down to 20 degrees in the winter. And so that coloration can also help these animals warm up and cool off. Very tall, so they don't only have to compete against other animals for resources, they only have to compete against other members of their species. But also they have another really helpful tool, which is going to be their purple tongue. Now these animals rely on this tongue to help them reach branches their faces cannot. So if you guys point your pointer finger up in the air and bend your elbow, that's how long a giraffe's tongue is on average. So for every foot of giraffe, there's about 1 inch of tongue that follows them. Giraffes are about 16 to 18 feet tall when they're fully grown. Taking away their natural grazelands. And Gravity zebras have a couple of really interesting ways to help them out there in African savanna. One, their color pattern is very unique, like the giraffes, and that is called disruptive camouflage. The whole purpose of these stripes is to help these animals be able to blend in together. So when they're all running, they blend in together and they look like a massive, scary animal. And that may deter predators from eating them. Also, juvenile zebras are born with the same length of legs as adults, example of natural behavior for a lot of different types of animals. And if you guys look, all the animals are hanging out all together, which you would think is kind of funny since all of the animals, again, have so much space to move around. But if you guys look at the giraffes, remember that giraffes have height. That's very, very important. A lot of the animals out in the African savannas are short. They can't see over the tall grasses. And so with that, they rely on the giraffes to help them warn them of danger. Giraffes have amazing senses. They can see, smell, and hear over 2 miles away from them. So again, on windy days like today with the sense of lion and cheetah is in the air, these animals are going to be hanging around the giraffes. And if the giraffes are relaxed like they are right now, walking around, hanging out, all of the animals are going to be A-okay. But if the giraffes start to tense up and start to run, every single animal in this exhibit, minus rhinos and Cape buffalo, will follow these giraffes because the giraffes are going to lead them to safety, away from danger. The sentinels of the African savanna, even the watchtowers, because they sense danger. And if you guys look at these 2 adults on the hillside, they are very intently looking at something up there on the hillside. You'll see the ears are perked forward. They're either watching a caravan car or they hear something or smell something that has their attention. Now the rest of the tower looks pretty relaxed, but those 2 are going to be some of the oldest animals out here. And they're going to be the ones that really are going to be on guard. They have a lot of juveniles. We have a 2-year-old giraffe calf out there. We have 2 1-year-olds who are cousins, and we have a 3-month-old giraffe calf out there as well. So normally giraffes are very vigilant, but these guys are going to be especially vigilant. They have a lot of babies out there, and babies are very, very susceptible to predators.
pinpoint where they are. But this is our largest, so just their head alone is going to be at around 1,000 pounds.
Can they swim?
Which is about, what was that?
Can they swim?
They can't swim. Other species can. This one in particular.
Because usually with the largest animals, when they get in the water, that's where they have their advantage because they're so...
You would think so, right? Like with the hippo, it's just as huge.
Yeah.
But this rhino has a head that's too heavy, so...
Traffic clear of the area. Once again, there's going to be an ALS behind Park Base.
So right over here we get a nice close look. You notice how small their eyes are? Especially in comparison to those big old ears. So when you look at an animal and they have that smaller feature against, with contrast to those larger features on them, it's going to show you which sense is a little bit weaker and which senses are stronger. They really just look like giant dinosaurs. Right now when we go by, there's two that are really, really close right here. So you can see just how rough their skin is. And that is going to add protection for them. So they of course have that size, but just their skin, where it's flat, is going to be around an inch thick. This is driving your life from Africa to Asia. And right here we have our welcoming committee. These are two of our Javan Banteng. They're going to be the wild cows that we have out here. It looks like there's a baby that's kind of shy but easing up behind these two. Now these Javan Banteng, you can see they have those very clear white socks on them and that really white rump on them as well. That is called a follow me mark on animals. Oh, there's the baby back there. And these other deer are the Elb's deer that are coming in. But the baby is so cute. Probably just a couple of weeks old right now.
Oh, so cute.
There he is. So he's gonna go up right next to Mama. Make sure he's safe with Mama. Oh, this is very special. We don't always get to see them this close.
So you just your veterinarian, kind of like a yearly checkup on these animals?
So we have the care specialists that are out here every day, and then vets do come in every few months, especially, well, they'll come in immediately if they, this is going to be the second largest species of rhino in the world. They are the true chubby unicorns. They're the greater one-horned rhino. So they are going to have that one horn on their head, and they're going to be found more in the wetlands throughout Asia. But a lot of those main points still apply to this rhino. So when it comes to their physical up, I'll try to point out the ones that are more prominent to us right now. If you look to the far right over here, these smaller ones that are light tan with those horns sticking out, those are the black buck, and they're actually the smallest antelope out in Asia. They're very, very fast animals, which kind of stands true for any of our smaller animals that we have here. So they are going to be quick and be able to use that speed to escape their predator. Now for them, their main predator is going to be the Asiatic cheetah. Doesn't matter where a cheetah comes from, they're always extra fast. So a cheetah can go up to 70 miles per hour. But even for a cheetah, that's like an Olympic run. So you're going to want to usually sustain your energy and go around 50 to 60 miles per hour. Really safe within a very close range of her. And even the birds are willing to hitch a ride on the back of a rhino. So although they are known for being able to show a threatening behavior if they have to, it doesn't mean they're going to just because they want to. So when it comes to those plates, skin plates, where those folds are, a way it was taught to me was think of where you would least want to be stabbed, where you would want the most protection. It is where their arms fold, where their neck is, that's where it's going to be thicker. Just in case one of those other rhinos from another herd does try to go after them, then hopefully they'd be able to utilize all of those thick skin folds to save them. So I had mentioned how the male, the male and females, when it's time for their mating, they're gonna be a little more aggressive toward one another. And we really saw that a little bit when we brought our one male in. So they weren't hurting him or anything like that, and he really didn't notice, but the females were bullying him a little bit, a little passive aggressive, and he was just excited, so he was running everywhere. And I think Kurt on the other side might be hiding from us, so we'll just take in the rest of the herd over here. So they are, can you guys hear me on the microphone at all when I put this on?
No, we
Not
can hear you. We don't need.
I'll
we
just-
don't hear the
That's good. It'll save me a little headache. So that Arabian oryx can raise their internal body temperature up to 113 degrees Fahrenheit, which means if it is that temperature outside, to them they feel
아니면 앞다리가 나와 있는 걸 수도 있고. 손이 나올 수 있어.
the light makes me
Bad, dude. The face, huh?